Sony just accidentally told us what they think Marathon is worth, and the price tag was a total confession. Call it the $15 Marathon mistake, because that is the whole disaster in one ugly number. Officially, Marathon is a premium live service shooter with deluxe extras, seasonal hooks, and all the shiny language that makes executives feel like they invented fun. Accidentally, the PlayStation Store appeared to tell people, take this whole problem for $14.99, which is less a discount and more a confession with a checkout button. Customers believed it because the page said the deluxe edition included Marathon, and normal people still assume words on a store page mean something. Basically, the same machine that wants your money in one click suddenly expected buyers to read every invisible footnote after the receipt printed. The mistake actually sounded like a better deal than the real thing. Funny part, the price they accidentally set is actually the only reason people started talking about this game again. And I will show you why that is a disaster for Bungie in a minute. When your pricing error creates a better argument for your game than your marketing campaign, maybe the error is not the real problem. During Marathon's open play week around Season 2, PlayStation players got a chance to try the game for free. Players added Marathon to their library, because that is what the system told them to do, and the PlayStation Store then treated some of them like owners. Because the store thought those free week users already owned the base game. The Deluxe Edition showed up at a discount. That discounted listing also appeared to include the full game, which matters because customers were not staring at code, they were reading a product page. People paid $14.99, thinking they had found a wild but real deal, because gaming storefronts run wild sales constantly. Then Sony updated the message and basically said, actually, you bought deluxe content for a game you do not own once the free week ends. This is where the story stops being a tiny mistake and starts becoming clown theater with a receipt. Reddit threads spread the price, screenshots moved around, and players argued whether they found a deal or stepped on a trap. Suddenly, the afternoon became a live demonstration of modern game shopping, half bargain hunt, half support panic. You would think a giant like Sony would have this figured out, especially when you look at how everyone else is doing it. Honestly, have you ever looked at a PlayStation Store page and felt confident you knew what you were buying? PlayStation is one of the biggest storefronts, backed by Sony, with lawyers, engineers, and warning pop-ups everywhere. Yet the store still managed to confuse free access with ownership, then let players buy add-ons attached to that confused status. Comparison matters here because this is not just a Sony problem, it is a how we buy games problem. Other stores have already solved parts of this, which makes Sony's mess look even more amateur. Steam usually shows complete the set bundles with clear ownership checks, and Xbox often separates trials editions and owned content with less drama. Sony's store made the basic question feel harder: do I own the game, or do I own decoration for a game I borrowed? Sure, defenders will say buyers should have known $14.99 was too cheap, and yes, it looked suspiciously good. However, stores sell old games, new bundles, upgrade packs, and deluxe editions at strange prices every week, so customers believe weird discounts. Normal buyers don't spend their Friday nights reading terms of service like they are studying for a law degree. They see a page saying deluxe edition includes Marathon, they see a price, and they decide whether the deal feels worth it. Digital stores want spending to feel effortless, but responsibility to feel technical, and this mess exposed that ugly split perfectly. Wait, it gets worse, because the fix almost proves how broken the original situation looked. Credit belongs to Bungie for one thing, because after the backlash grew, the team said affected buyers would receive Marathon at no extra cost. Giving those players the full game was the correct move, and it prevented the whole thing from becoming an even bigger refund circus. The purchase got honored after the mistake became public, players got loud, and the situation looked ridiculous. Congratulations, Bungie discovered customer goodwill after stepping on a rake in front of everyone. Doing the right thing after the internet drags you there is better than refusing, but let us not build a statue. Meanwhile, Sony should be taking the harder lesson, because the PlayStation Store should know the difference between a free trial user and a real owner. Checkout systems exist to sell the correct thing to the correct customer at the correct price. If your store can sell players deluxe content for a game they do not truly own, then maybe the store needs fewer glossy banners and more adult supervision. Recall when I said this price error was a disaster for Bungie. Reason is simple: in a world full of free-to-play shooters, Sony just accidentally set the fair price at $15 in the minds of players. Paid extraction shooters are not exactly walking through a friendly market where everyone is begging for another live service commitment. Competition is crowded, patience is thin, and players have been trained by years of battle passes to ask what the catch is. Season 2 needed to feel like a clean invitation, not a paperwork ambush. Instead, the free week became a lesson in store confusion, access rules, and what happens when a platform treats temporary players like permanent owners. Free trials are supposed to reduce friction, not create a refund maze with a deluxe skin pack waiting at the exit. Frankly, the funniest part is that Sony accidentally created the most interesting marathon discount by breaking its own logic. Gamers were not suddenly excited because a trailer changed their souls or a roadmap healed their doubts. Interest spiked because the machine broke in their favor and made the price sound low enough to gamble on. Maybe the best marathon ad was not a dev blog, not a seasonal promise, and not another polished trailer with serious music. Weirdly, the best ad was a store bug that made people say, at that price maybe. For commentary, this story is perfect because a viewer understands it in 10 seconds without knowing marathon lore. Trial users looked like owners. A discounted deluxe edition looked like it included the game. Customers bought it. Then Sony and Bungie had to clean up the mess. Show the store wording on screen here, because the whole argument depends on what customers saw before they paid. Avoid screaming scam for 20 minutes and focus on the cleaner angle. The product page confused buyers, the system took money, and the company fixed it after pressure. Without meaning to, Sony let the truth slip about how confusing digital ownership has become. Once money leaves your account, suddenly clarity becomes optional, and the support page becomes your new hobby. Obviously, Marathon did not need that kind of headline, because trust is already the oxygen a paid live service needs. Lost trust makes every price look greedy, every bundle look slippery, and every correction look like damage control. $14.99 was not just a price error, it was the moment players saw the product through a broken window and decided the broken view made more sense. Look at the defense people will try to run, because it always arrives wearing the same cheap helmet. Apparently, customers were supposed to notice the price, distrust the description, understand the hidden license state, and predict the future warning before Sony wrote it. By that logic, every shopper should treat a console store like a crime scene. Before buying anything, you should ask whether the word includes the thing, whether library means library, and whether owned means owned until Tuesday. Imagine explaining that to someone who just wanted to try a shooter after work. No player opens the store hoping for a philosophy exam about access. Seriously, we just want the game, no fine print, no maybe just the game. Most people only want the game, the price, and the promise to match. Sometimes deluxe means the game plus skins. Elsewhere it means an upgrade pack alone. Occasionally, it means the base game is separate, even when the page looks like a bundle. Often the only difference between a fair deal and a trap is one sentence hiding under 5 icons. Predictably, Marathon walked straight into that swamp, and then acted surprised when players came out covered in mud. Ideally, Season 2 should have been the clean pitch, try the game, keep progress, maybe buy in later. Worse, the story became try the game, accidentally look like an owner, buy the wrong right thing, then wait for the adults to clarify. Anyone building a live service should understand how deadly confusion is. Unlike a boxed game, a live service asks for ongoing trust. It asks players to spend money today because tomorrow will still matter. Each unclear offer chips away at that bargain. Later, Sony and Bungie can fix access for affected buyers, but they cannot unteach the audience what the blunder revealed. Underneath the comedy, the store made Marathon look like a product that needed accidental charity to become tempting. Drama alone is cheap. Evidence makes the roast land. Facts make it hurt. Audiences also hate feeling tricked more than they hate paying. Price can be high and still feel honest if the offer is plain. Confusion makes even a cheap deal feel dirty. Platform holders know this, which is why checkout pages usually over-explain boring things. Strangely, the boring warning arrived after people had already acted. Those buyers did what stores train buyers to do: trust the page, trust the button, and trust the receipt. Afterward, everyone learned the safest Marathon strategy was apparently to let the store malfunction first. Plainly, that is not sales, it is slapstick accounting. Question for you: did any of you actually catch this deal while it was live? Or are you staying away from Marathon regardless of the price? Drop it in the comments, because this is exactly the kind of store mess players remember when the next deluxe bundle shows up. Subscribe if you want honest breakdowns of gaming's biggest messes, without pretending a broken checkout page is normal for normal customers in 2026. Sony fixed the price, but they cannot fix the fact that for one afternoon, the most popular thing about Marathon was a mistake.